Hi everyone, my name is Bethany. Welcome to my channel. If you've been following along, at this point I should have had my son here, but he is taking his sweet time, and so in the meantime I continue to be in labor and I need distraction, so I'm making more videos. Today we are going to continue with the manly card theme, and this is the results of today's test. I used the distressed texture paste. It's the crackle version for the first time ever, and I think I like the results. So I will let you start enjoying, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Today we are going to use the Maker Forte Have a Beautiful Day stamp set. I thought it was pretty nifty that it has a lot of different versions of how you can do the coffee cup. It's basically all coffee themed or latte themed, and I thought it would be fun to try. For this, we are going to use the stamp that is the outline of the top of the coffee cup, and I am using the Tim Holtz Hickory Smoke, the Distressed Oxide, and we're just going to put it on this little piece of Dollar Tree scrap pack paper that I have. Make sure it's nice and good. We're going to take my fun foam pad and we're going to place the Maker Forte has a stencil design that goes with this. And we're going to actually do something a little bit different. I've never actually used this before. But we are going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Texture Paste, the crackle, and we're going to use this little insert. I'm going to tape it down. There's several different inserts that came with the set, but this one's the least manly looking one, or sorry, the least girly looking one. With all the other one, or a lot of the other ones have hearts and stuff, and so we're going to. And oh, there's some dried stuff that just came out, but I got this from makerforte.com as well. And then using a little palette spatula, I'm going to just put a nice light texture. I don't want it to be perfect just because I'm experimenting. So, coating the opening of the stencil. And since it's a crackle paste, I'm not sure how it's going to respond, but we'll see. They have different versions of the paste, but this one sounded like the most fun to try. And then I'm going to scrape all the excess off of it that I can get to. And then I'm just going to wash the stencil while the crackle paste dries for a little while. So I will be using the pre-made card again from that Michaels pack that I had the last time I did one of the manly cards. And if you haven't watched that video, don't forget to check that one out. But this is also another piece of scrap or paper that came in the Dollar Tree scrap pack. And I'm going to give it some texture and some beefiness by just crinkling it up and distressing it on my own, and then I'm going to cut it down to size. I'm going to go end to end on it, so just going to fit the entire thing in to my slicer, line it up. I usually use my finger to the edge of the metal to make sure I've lined it up as best as I can, but since it's textured, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll do for what I'm going for. And then I have learned this technique. I'm going to use a VersaMagic chalk ink pad, and the color is Sea Breeze. And I'm just going to rub it gently across the creases in the paper, and it'll just pick up little highlights. Since it's a chalk ink, it's not super saturated, but it will give it just that little extra bit of emphasis to the distressing, which I think adds a nice little layer that's subtle, but still pretty fun. Now the crackle paste is starting to dry, and I am deciding, I'm changing my mind a little bit. I don't feel like the cup ring around the crackle paste is popping enough. So I'm going to just use some Tim Holtz embossing ink, and I'm going to try to place it as close as I can over the original stamp. And I think that'll work. Then I'm actually going to go ahead and add my sentiment. I'm going to use that same initial color of the hickory smoke. And I'm going to just add it here in the corner. And then, before things dry too quickly, I'm going to add the Wow Clear Gloss embossing powder for that little bit of extra punch. And I forgot I had the fan on, so I have to go turn that fan off. Gets a little warm here. So because I'm not sure how the crackle paste will do under the heat, I'm going to put it on the lowest setting and make sure that I'm not moving enough that the middle where the crackle paste is doesn't crackle too much and then looks ugly. And I'm just going to make sure I keep moving all around till the embossing powder starts to look wet, and that'll work. So I am also seeing that the middle of the cup in between the outlines needs a little extra emphasis. So I'm going to use this Dollar Tree. It's considered a white or a metallic marker, but it's really just white. I've used it before for chalkboard paper and other different projects. It works really well on black, and it came from the dollar store, so or the Dollar Tree. So it's kind of fun to use in different aspects of the project. But I'm just going to fill in the lines here. Don't need to be perfect, but it helps to have that embossing powder already down because it kind of keeps me within those lines of shading. Now I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Ground Espresso color, and I also picked up from the Dollar Tree a makeup brush, nothing fancy. I'm just going to lightly brush, darker in the middle, and keeping the highlights more towards the outside. Just brushing a light coat of the Distress Oxide. I don't want to be too heavy-handed on it. Just to give it that little extra pop. It kind of looks like what the poured foam on top of your latte looks like. That was my goal. So now that I have all of my pieces together, it is time to assemble. One of the things I like to do anytime I'm using glue, I use a piece of parchment paper underneath in case I don't want to get the surface beneath messed up. Especially with the art glitter glue, I sometimes can overdo it. But I suggest not using anything you have with the texture, especially a texture at the back side. Just use the art glitter glue. It simplifies life. You don't have to worry about it not sticking in certain places, especially with a tape runner. And I'm just going to place it right here in the middle. Make sure that it's as down as it can be without losing that texture, especially on the edges. And then I'm going to use my Dollar Tree foam tape, and I'm going to cut just 4 pieces and put the mug with the sentiment down as well. And there you have it. There is the final product with the texture crackle, the distressed texture paste, the crackle style, and I think I like the end result. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave comments below for me. Let me know what you want to see more of. I am all for getting more distractions from all of these contractions happening. Thanks for watching.